There we go. So, should be up and running now. Just had to quickly grab something. But now it's time for the race. From the looks of things, it's clear skies here in Mexico City. Race Spec Esports. Is this it? Fantastic, here it is. So, for the people watching now, I'm just going to do a brief test when everyone goes onto the grid. I'll probably read out driver names and switch to the camera. Switch the camera to them when I read them out. Just say in the chat whether or not the camera lines up with the audio. If not, I'll just restart it again. And now the drivers on the formation lap. Just have a quick glance at what everyone is up to in terms of strategy. So Nicholas is starting on pole position. BRT Fast is in second, being sandwiched in third place. BRT Julio in fourth, Jamil in fifth, Yoda Speak in sixth place, KD in seventh, Captain Schmeg in eighth, Whitecore in ninth, and Doberman rounding out the top 10, and all of them starting on the soft compound tyre as well. Lucid in the McLaren in 11th place is starting on the medium compound, with Seppi in 12th starting on the softs. Kenny in 13th place on the soft tyre as well, hoping to make a few positions early on, and Yukano at the back of the grid starting in 14th place will be on the medium compound tyre. And hopefully people watching the stream is all nice and aligned, I hope. Because yeah, it did a similar thing back at the Dutch round at Zandvoort during qualifying. I had no idea why, but it did. Let's have a look. Okay, thank you. Alrighty then. Drivers are making their way around through the second sector. Be interested to see what kind of drivers will go for. See plenty of them starting on the soft compound tyre. Whether they're going... Nice reset to circuit there. Not sure how the stewards would look at that. Anyway. Plenty of drivers on the soft tyre. What are they going to do? Well, there's a couple of strategies you can do. I have seen drivers do the soft to hard strategy, which I wouldn't recommend doing because it means stretching the soft stint quite a bit. I've seen drivers do soft, medium, medium. It seems the medium tyre is a pretty good race tyre around here in Mexico, but a successful strategy that I've seen from the past couple of races here at Mexico is probably the soft, medium, soft, or a soft, soft, medium strategy. It just seems to work pretty okay, particularly if you've got good car speed underneath you. For the medium runners, they've got a bit of flexibility. They can either do a two-stop or one-stop from the mediums to hards, which isn't too bad around here. Well, I guess we'll see it all take place as we have 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go here at Mexico City. Nicholas gets a shocking start. He is pushing fast right to the edge of the racetrack. You would expect, being on the clearer line, that you get a better start than that. Oh, and a driver off the racetrack in the background, but he gets back on relatively safely. Yoda Speak making up a few positions now. He's into 4th place. Drivers going through side by side, doing turns 2 and 3, now down the next long straightaway heading towards turn 4. There's the predicted tyre swap strategy, brought to you by AWS, a sponsor that really shouldn't be in Formula 1, but anyway. Now through turns 4 and 5, heading towards turn 6. Drivers still scrapping for position. Drivers still side by side. Julio losing a few positions off the start. He's down in 7th place, down 3 positions from the start. He does not need that. He's in the championship battle. And Nicholas currently leading. And one of the members I've failed to notice from qualifying isn't here. It's VRT Matthias. He's not here for this race. That's going to be a massive blow for his championship chances. Yoda Speak already 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Seffi as well for cutting the hairpin there in the stadium section. But astonishingly, from the first lap, no one's had any significantly bad incident, which resulted in a massive crash. Everyone's behaved themselves relatively well. And it's COS Nicholas leading the way as we still have the leaderboard glitch in this game, which is always fascinating to watch. When you see a driver just magically leap up the leaderboard to first place. But don't worry, it will all sort itself out once I hit the first sector split line. With Nicholas leading, fast in second. Something's happened back here. It's Giacano. He's made a mistake after being disqualified from qualifying. He's now lost even more time to the field. He has a lot of work to do. Leaders are now making their way through the second sector. Nicholas is still leading, steadily opening a margin over Fass. Being sandwiched nicely placed, right in behind. Yoda Speak isn't too far behind either. So we've got a relatively nice train here of cars. Oh, and Jamil has a moment and a half. Coming around turn 12. Dearie me. White Claw, a 3-second time penalty. So we're seeing penalties are already starting to come. They're definitely going to play quite a big part towards the end of the race, especially if there is a safety car at any stage. Through the first couple of corners. Yoda Speak, that's now 6 seconds next to his name. Look at that, 6 seconds. Seffi as well, 6 seconds. So these guys aren't negotiating the circuit very well, pushing the limits too far and getting penalties because of it. Now through the second sector. All line astern stuck through here. You really can't overtake anyone through this sector. But it's very much possible for you to make a mistake through here. To lose the car, particularly at the end of the S's. As we saw, well, as you guys might not have seen. Oh! Sideways! There we go. That's exactly what I was talking about. Completely sideways with Yoda Speak, and he caught it, but he has lost a position to Jamil. But a nice little happy coincidence for Yoda is that he'll now have DRS on Jamil here, heading onto the pit straight. So he just might be able to counter-attack here, heading towards turn 1. The current top 3, all in this nice little clump, heading towards turn 1. Fast not quite close enough to attack Jamil. He's relatively safe. KD and Yoda fighting, and KD half spins onto the grass. He comes back on, has lost a few positions. He was able to rejoin very safely and not cause any sort of incident. And now KD himself has got a penalty. 3 seconds, I believe. There it is there. Gathering one too many warnings. He's now down in 10th place after that little incident he had with Yoda at turn 1. Back towards the front of the field. It's where it's all happening at the moment. At the exit of the S's. Car's looking nice and stable. KD now has 6 seconds worth of penalties. That's quite amazing how he gathered 3 penalties so quickly. Pretty much over the course of a lap, really. Through turn 16, the second to last corner, around the final corner to begin lap 5 of 36 here at Mexico. Just in behind, Yoda Speak has gotten past Giulio. Oh, sorry, Giulio's caught onto the back of Yoda. I was thinking of Jamil, dear me. Heading towards turn 1, sector 3 yellow flags. That's a McLaren of Lucid, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, dearie me. Gonna get himself going again. Get himself pointing in the right direction. But yes, it's Giulio, who was on the back of Yoda Speak, has now got Seffi all over the back of him. Down inside into turn 2, turn 4. Can't get the move done there. Driver's just scrapping it out for position. Oh, dearie me, that was an almighty cuff there. Dear oh dear. Captain Schmeg now 3 seconds worth of penalties next to his name. As Kimi gets past White Claw, that's for 8th place. The leaders still following each other to hold Fast at bay, and Bean really can't attack Fast as both drivers have DRS. Both drivers have a slipstream as well. Julio is now getting past Yoda Speak. That is for 5th place. Yoda unable to attack into turn 1. In the background we have a 3-way fight for 8th. Kimi, White Claw and KD making their way through turn 3, heading towards turn 4. Will White Claw attack here? Kimi defends the inside line. White Claw, he's got momentum. Looking around the outside, a compromised line for Kimi. White Claw gets a switchback around turn 5 now. Can't get the move done. KD just waiting in the background, waiting for an opportunity to arise. But Kimi hangs on to 8th place for now. Oh, a lovely aerial shot here through the S's. Could you imagine the G-forces you'd be pulling through there? You saw that there through the second sort of final part of the S's. The drivers are going through there at 170 miles an hour, which is incredibly fast. You could only imagine the forces that real life drivers will be subject to through that sector. Absolutely extraordinary. Still Nicholas holding the 2 at bay. Doing a good job. And he hasn't dumped DRS. He's got 50% next to his name. Fast has got 70, almost 80%. Bean has got 60. So the 2 drivers behind have a bit more ERS to play with. But Nicholas is doing a fine job, still having a bit of resources in his back pocket. Just so then he can defend a little bit and also have a bit of ERS towards the end of the race, or when he needs it most. He's not dumping it right now, just trying to hold the 2 behind him at bay. So he's got genuinely good car speed underneath him at the moment. Through the second sector, here comes the midfield. Now KD has made a pit stop. I've just noticed he's now on fresh medium compound tyres, and that might work for him. He's now in relatively clear air. He will need to put the hammer down though. Set some pretty competitive lap times through the stadium section. KD, another 3-second time penalty. He really can't afford those though. Back up to the leading trio, shall we? You can see here the drivers aren't quite scrapping for position just yet, just keeping each other honest. Long race here at Mexico City. It's probably wise for these guys to just keep in touch with each other, not do anything silly. Jamil, a steady 3.2 seconds behind the top 3. He's got a bit of clear air in front. He's got a bit of a gap behind as well. His teammate Julio is 2.8 seconds behind. Yoda Speak under attack here from Siffy, and his teammate is not too far behind in 8th. In a nice position to score points at this stage. He's also made good use of that soft tyre, making up 5 positions off the start. So is Seffi. Both of them getting very good starts, as Seffi now gets a 3-second time penalty, which makes it 15 for the Alfa Romeo driver. It's not been a very good race in terms of penalties for him. Oh, and he was a bit sideways there, coming through the stadium section. As into the pits goes BRT Fast. An interesting call, coming in early, getting on fresh tyres. The guys behind seem to have pitted except for Captain Schmeg. He stays out. So Fast should get clear air here. He does. So now he's got a license to put the hammer down and set some very fast lap times here. Try and get an undercut on Nicholas and Bean Sandwich. Be interesting to see what those two do. Whether they reply to Fast pitting in. Try and nullify the effect of the undercut. But at the moment, Julio gets 3 seconds. Yoda Speak just got 3 seconds as well. So the guys are gathering a fair few penalties at the moment. No real battles going on quite just yet. Nicholas and Bean are in, so they are replying to Fast's undercut. They're coming in. They're not going to stay out for any longer than what they should. They're going to switch onto the medium compound. Yep, both of them on the mediums. Oh, both of them getting held up in the pits a little bit. Where's Fast? Here he is here. And there's the two drivers coming out of the pit lane. It has worked for Fast. The undercut has worked. So that's a provisional lead in this race. And he's got a margin as well. He needs to keep that margin over the course of this lap. He can't allow Nicholas to get DRS on him. If he can break out of 1 second, a 1 second range towards the end of the lap, he's in a very good place towards the front of the field, but it looks like Nicholas is not going to let him go. That gap is steadily closing as Fast gets his first penalty of the race. 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings. So he now has that to worry about, and he's now got traffic to worry about as well. Captain Schmeger's just in front in 3rd place. He is yet to pit. He's on 9 lap old softs as well. Does Fast send it here? Not quite. Oh, I reckon he almost did there. Perhaps Smeg a bit early on the brakes as he's got quite worn tyres around the outside of the hairpin. Nicholas follows. I'm sure Smeg is going into the pits, realising that his tyres are completely shot. There he goes. So this battle between the top 3 resumes after the pit stop. Nicholas slingshots by the Brazilian using DRS. He retakes the provisional lead. It just shows how much speed Nicholas has underneath him. He now has DRS once again. Fast counter-attacking down the inside into turn 4. A bit of contact between the two perhaps. Into turn 4, very wide for Nicholas. Into the apex, more contact there at turn 5. And here comes being sandwiched. Ready to take an opportunity, but can't quite find it. What a scrap between these guys. Side by side into the S's now. Hopefully they start behaving themselves through here. You really can't afford to make a mistake. Otherwise we'll have catastrophic results. Coming out of the 2nd sector towards the stadium section. It's Nicholas in the lead. Sefi, another 3 second time penalty. That makes it 18 for him. Closing in on the disqualification at this stage. Jamil is closing in as well. He's now only 2 seconds behind the top 3 because of their little scrap. So he might be able to get involved in this if the 3 in front continue to scrap like they are. Fast is now attacking, it seems. No, not quite. Hasn't switched it into overtake, just getting past using the DRS. Oh, but Nicholas very brave on the brakes around the outside. Through turn 2, into turn 3. Fast gets the position. Nicholas runs off the racetrack. They're going to be side by side once again. And here comes Bean Sandwich. Where will he look? Will he follow Fast? Will he follow Nicholas? Into turn 4 we go. They're side by side through turn 5. Contact. And here comes the Mexican down the inside. No, he backs out. Just briefly. Fast and Nicholas, a really fantastic scrap here for the lead of this race. And Fast gets it heading into the 2nd sector. But Nicholas, he's in a very nice position here. He can just wait for the pit straight to come on the next lap to attack Fast for the lead once more. And Bean, I guess he's just happy to be here. He's probably got the popcorn out, just watching the show. And here comes Jamil. He's probably laughing at the top 3 for battling as much as they are, because it's now turned into a 4-horse race. Jamil is very much involved in this now. Heading onto the pit straight for the 13th time. What is Nicholas going to do? He opens DRS. He is half a second behind Can he close up quickly enough to attack into turn 1? I reckon he can. He will look down the inside into turn 1. Fast keeps it there. They're going to go side by side once again into turn 2, then turn 3. And here comes Bean Sandwich. Gets fantastic traction out of the corner, and he says, thank you very much, fellas. I'll take the lead away from you. But Nicholas says, hang on a minute. Down the inside into turn 4. He's side by side through turn 5. Towards turn 6. Bean has the inside line. He takes the lead of the Mexico Grand Prix. But I'm sure this battle is nowhere near over yet, as we have yellow flags in the first and second sectors. Just some drivers going off the racetrack, I suppose. But here come the top 3 heading through the S's. Fast has lost a little bit of ground to the top 2. Jamil has caught on to the back of it. He's absolutely loving the battle in front. Unbelievable stuff here. Into the stadium section we go. Coming through the stadium around the final 2 corners. Now what's Nicholas going to do? I'm sure he's going to attack here. Here we go, DRS open, there's not much Bean can do, and we saw Nicholas close a half-second gap using DRS on the previous lap. Bean holds the inside line. Nicholas, he'll look around the long way, heading towards turn 1, heading towards turn 2 now. They're still side by side. Through turn 3, a bit of a switchback move here from Nicholas. Can't get the job done, but he has DRS once again, heading towards turn 4. Where will he look? He will settle. He's not going to go for an attacking move just yet. He's just going to be a bit patient on this lap. Just follow Bean through. And now Jamil is very much in this. So, 2 of the top 4 have 3-second penalties. The current 2 drivers that are leading, Bean Sandwich and Nicholas, currently don't. I'll have to check what their warning situation looks like. They're looking good at this stage, but we haven't even hit the halfway mark. As Sefi, I believe, has made a mistake. There he is there. Virtual safety car deployed. Now that's very interesting. What do these guys do? They're right in front of pit entry. Let's see what's Bean up to. Is he going to go in? He stays out. Nicholas stays out. Fast dives in. What about Jamil? He stays out. So what's Fast up to? He's going to switch onto the hard tyre, I presume. Let's have a look. There it is. Those are the white wall tyres. Disqualified from the session. White Claw. Too many penalties next to his name. He is out of this race. And a drive-through penalty for speeding on the virtual safety car. That's why he's been disqualified. Dear, oh dear. So that's our first disqualification in this race, and it's White Claw. Sefi has retired, crashing out at turn 12. So we'll have Sector 3 yellow flags. One of the McLarens is coming up to the accident. That's Doberman. Let's have a look. Will the car despawn? No, there it is there. Right in the middle of the racetrack. That should have been a safety car, but it wasn't for whatever reason. So Fast has taken himself out of this battle. Elected to pit under virtual safety car. Is that the big brain move? Considering the situation that all the drivers were in. All of the top 4 could have pitted. There was no worry of double stacks. They're all in different teams. That could have been a massive boost for them, because now Fast is going to the end of the race. He doesn't have to make another pit stop. And those hard tyres aren't too shocking. Nicholas down the inside before turn 1. He should get the job done, and does so. Heading towards turn 1, he takes the lead of this Mexican Grand Prix. My oh my, what a fantastic race we have had so far. And we're not even halfway through. Truly unbelievable. Well, let's see what else everyone else is doing. At the moment, Yoda Speak is in behind Julio, trying to hunt him down for 5th place. But he's got a few penalties, if I remember. 14 seconds worth. So that's 9 seconds through gathering warnings and a 5 second for speeding, I'm guessing. That's how we got the 14 seconds. Hasn't been a solid race from him. KD's got a few penalties as well. He's got 12 seconds next to his name. Yoda Speak has just got another 3 seconds. He's now on 17 in 6th place. That is not good, especially if there's a safety car at any stage during this race. Kimi has driven well. He's up into 7th place. How many positions have you made? Up 6 positions, starting from 13th place. He's up in the top 10 in 7th place. Schmeg, a 3-second time penalty next to his name now. At the moment, not too much going on. Bean just following Nicholas at the moment. He didn't attack the Canadian at this stage. My oh my. Now with the race reaching the halfway mark, I reckon everything is just going to settle down a little bit. But this strategy call is going to be very, very interesting. See how this plays out. Because all the guys that were battling, minus Jamil, are in championship contention. This could be a championship winning or a championship destroying call from BRT Fast. This one pit stop potentially could decide his driver's championship chances. This could be the biggest brain maneuver, or this could be an absolute failure as Lucid makes a yellow flag in the 3rd sector, probably just getting out of the way of the leaders, I'm assuming. He's going to come into the pits. Nice and easy, make sure he doesn't get a penalty of any description. But Fass steadily closing in on Kimi on these hard compound tyres. They're nice and fresh, and they should make it to the race as well, with little trouble, I'm imagining. Now Julio is on the back of KD as Julio gets 3 seconds worth of penalties. KD trying to defend his position, heading towards turn 4. Julio, where does he look? Around the outside. He has the inside line for turn 5. Can he hold it there? Yes, he can. He's now into 4th place, but KD's not giving up. And here comes Yoda Speed down the inside. An opportunistic move here from the Williams. He can't get it done though. My oh my. Now through the high-speed S's. The 3-way battle for 4th place is now on. If KD can keep up with Giulio through this sector and potentially get DRS on the next lap, he is losing time though. And here comes Yoda switching to the inside line for turn 12. And he gets the position. Contact, I think, between the two drivers. KD and Yoda really racing hard here into the stadium section. Oh, still nice. Oh, contact. Yoda half spins. More contact. More contact. This is NASCAR stuff here. Through the final corner. They're going to be side by side crossing the line. Heading towards turn 1 once again. Who has DRS? It's KD. Being sandwiched gets his first penalty. You see that there. He now has 3 seconds. Here comes Yoda. Here comes KD. Neither of them get DRS. The FIA... Bugger it. Neither of you are getting DRS. Both of you drag it towards turn 1. Now through turn 3, heading towards turn 4. What are these two fellas going to do here? Where's KD going to loop? Has he got enough momentum to attack? Will he send it? No, he won't. He'll stay in behind Yoda for now, cutting turn 4 there. Sector 2, yellow flags. That's a McLaren, I think. Is that Doberman? It is. He's made just a little... Oh, that was close. Luckily, the cars are ghosting. But that was very, very close there between him and the racing point of being sandwiched. Deary me. Go to speak. Now starting to pull away from KD a little. Fast has closed onto the back of Kimi, heading towards the stadium section once again. Into the hairpin, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, short shifting, up into 4th gear, revving glitch, decides to activate itself. 2nd gear for Kimi, trying to get that extra rotation at the apex. KD's in the pit lane. Fast, he's going to move around the outside. Kimi probably makes it a bit easier for him. He's moving out of the way more or less. I suppose he was trying to defend the inside line, but when you've got DRS, when the car behind has DRS, there's absolutely nothing you can do here at Mexico. No realistic way of defending the position, really. So Fast is now into 6th place. His next target is Yoda Speak, and that is 5th place for him. And currently, what's the gap between him and the race leader? It is 22.1 seconds. If anyone in the chat that's watching this, do you know the relative delta for people in the pit lane? I think Yukano has just made a yellow flag. There he is there. He has to put the car in reverse. 3-second penalty for Yoda. Gets the car in reverse, get into 1st gear, and away you go. There we go. Fantastic. Well done. And here comes Julio, I believe. So how long's pit stop here at Mexico? Will Fast ultimately end up in front of the leaders? And if so, roughly by how much? If anyone knows the answer to that question, I would love to know. But it'll be interesting to see what happens towards the end between this man and the current 2 leading the way. Heading towards turn 1 is BRT Fast. The gap between him and Yoda Speak is 4.2 seconds. Let's remember that. See how much it closes over the course of a lap. Now everything's starting to settle down just a little bit here at Mexico. Got some pit stop rotations happening. The driver's making some critical mistakes. But luckily we haven't seen anything massive as of yet in terms of accidents. Bean keeping up with Nicholas, doing a very good job at the moment. Now on the back of Nicholas, he'll get DRS once again. That's all he needs to do really, is just keep up with the Canadian. Just put him under a little bit of pressure. Through turn 1 into turn 2. Gap is half a second because Nicholas is in a very good position with no penalty next to his name. I'll just have a quick squiz of Race Director, shall I? He's got 1 warning, so he's got another warning up his sleeve. But after that, he can't afford to get any more warnings. He does have to be a little bit careful. At the moment, he's doing a superb job holding on to this race lead. Now the gap between Fast and Yoda is now 3 seconds, so he is gaining on the Williams at quite a rapid rate. Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff here in Mexico. Nick never gets penalties. No, he really doesn't, and it's demonstrating that right now. He's only got 1 warning over the course of this race so far. He's doing a superb job. They're doing a very good job keeping Bean at bay. Bean is a very capable racing driver, very, very quick, and even with DRS assistance, he's not really in a position to attack Nicholas. But maybe that's a game plan of his. Perhaps he's just waiting patiently, waiting towards the end of the race to attack, because he knows if he starts battling Nick at this stage of the race, he is going to lose time to Fast. That's what happens when drivers battle a lot. We saw that dynamic when Fast, Nicholas and Bean started battling, and Jamil caught up to them, creating a 4-way fight at that stage. Jamil has dropped off quite a bit, 4.7 seconds behind. But with these two just sort of perhaps respecting each other, perhaps Bean feels like he probably could attack Nicholas, but it's just waiting towards the end of the race to attack. There's no need to attack him now. There's no real gain to attacking him now. He is steadily losing time, and that's now 6 seconds for Fast. He's now gathered 6 seconds worth of penalties. So now he has to worry about that. He's now got a deficit to not only Nicholas, but also being sandwiched. He's now clawing onto the back of Yoda. Closing in on 12 laps to go. So I reckon if drivers are doing a soft medium run, we'll see drivers pit now. But I reckon the drivers would probably do a soft medium soft run So we won't see them pit until maybe lap 26, 27, I reckon. Then we'll see drivers coming into the pit lane for the soft tyre. Maybe lap 28, do an 8-lap stint on the soft tyre. Steadily, fast, clawing onto the back of Yoda. The gap is now 1.2 seconds. He should get DRS at the end of this lap. Yoda speak, that's another penalty next to his name. That's now 26 seconds next to his name. He would be teetering on the edge of disqualification at this stage. He does need to be careful. Can't afford to get disqualified. He's in a top 10 position at the moment. And the 10th place car is a lap down. So he can score something so long as he doesn't get disqualified. If you get disqualified, you will score nothing. And unfortunately for Fast, he wasn't quite close enough to get DRS at the DRS detection zone. So he won't get that massive boost with the DRS. He still has to catch up to him the regular way. But that gap is steadily closing. Top two, minding their own business. Bean is still keeping Nicholas honest. He's never fallen outside of 1 second over the course of this stint. He's done a superb job, but now it's teetering on the edge of a second. Sideways a little bit, I believe, for Bean, but luckily he didn't lose time to the Canadian. Gap steadily closes once more. Smeg, another 3-second time penalty next to his name. Through the stadium section go the two leaders. Now, is one of them going to pit? Nicholas pits, so does Bean, he follows. We'll pull it up, and he does so. So here we go. They're probably going to switch onto another set of mediums, I'm reckoning. No, those are soft tyres, I saw those. Soft tyres for Nicholas. What about Bean? Soft tyres as well. So they're going to try and stretch a 10-lap stint with these. Most likely possible, but I imagine those soft tyres will wear out quite a bit towards the end. And here comes Fast. Where are the two leaders? There they are. The undercut hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. Fast is in technical third place here. Julio is yet to pit, but this has not been the ideal strategy call from BRT Fast. He is behind Sandwich and Nicholas, and they're on fresh soft tyres. Oh dear, the gamble has not paid off. It has not paid off at all. So this race is now becoming a two-horse race between Nicholas and Bean Sandwich. There is no way Fast will be able to compete with the raw speed that the two drivers in front have. And now, I imagine he has to worry about this guy, Jamil. He's on fresh softs, only 6 seconds behind with 10 laps to go. Can he close in that margin? It's a bit under a second a lap, but he's on fresh, soft compound tyres. He'd be lightning fast at this stage of the race. As Julio dives into the pit lane, a bit of an overcut for him. Not wanting to double stack with his teammate, I suppose. He's on soft tyres, he's going to the end. But Bean, closer than what he was on previous occasions, is now on the back of Nicholas, only 3/10 separating the two. Now if Bean has got speed, perhaps he might want to get past, as he now has a 3-second time penalty next to his name. Nicholas has nothing. It might be a wise thing for Bean to put as much pressure as he can on the car in front, try and force an error, try and force Nicholas to get a penalty, to put them on even ground once again through the high-speed S's. See Nicholas nailing his marks, gaining time. Helps with the fact that he doesn't have any dirty air to deal with. Through the third sector, the stadium section. Look at how much ground Fast has lost. That gap has already opened up to almost 5 seconds. Nicholas setting fastest lap time, proving to be very fast indeed. But Bean Sandwich is having none of it, using DRS. He moves down the inside and takes the lead of the race. Through turn 3, he will open DRS once again. Try and pull away from the Canadian, heading towards turn 4. But he doesn't pull away enough. But perhaps, with the dirty air, Nicholas will lose time to Bean through the second sector. Maybe Bean can open up a 1 second margin. It definitely doesn't look like it at this stage though. Nicholas right on the back of the racing point, not giving up. Through the high-speed S's, turn 7, turn 8, turn 9, then turn 10 into turn 11. Absolutely nailing it there. Now Beans has slightly opened up a margin, 0.6 of a second. Jamil gets 3 seconds worth of penalties there. That increases his tally to 6 if I'm not mistaken. Oh, and Nicholas has lost time. He's lost a lot of time through that final sector, and he doesn't have DRS. Unbelievable. He does not have DRS, but neither driver have no ERS as well. They've absolutely dumped everything there. But Bean, he needs to open up a 3 second margin. I'll just quickly change it to penalties. Oh, Jamil has 12 seconds. Oh dear. Track limits has not been his friend tonight, it seems. But he's got a comfortable margin to his teammate in 5th place. But it seems like Fass just might hang on to 3rd place in the end, even with the penalties. Oh dear. But Nicholas has lost time, and he won't get DRS here either. There's little DRS straight before turn 12. The gap has steadily increased just little bit by little bit. But Nicholas needs to get within a second here. It needs to be a mega 3rd sector. 1.2, 1.1. It's not enough at the DRS detection zone. That's where it was there, that line that goes across the racetrack coming around turn 15. It's not enough. He won't have DRS. The gap is still about 1 second though. Bean, these have got to be the best 7 laps of his life if he wants this win. Nicholas, he needs to be on top of it as well, but he cannot afford to make a mistake. If he does, it would almost be game over for him. Jamil is over. This is for 3rd place, but Jamil needs to make up 6 seconds over Fass if he wants to keep that 3rd place. He too needs to be on top of his game. In the background, Yoda Speak and KD, these two had an almighty scrap at the mid-phase of the race, and they're going to scrap again. Contact between the two. They are really bumping and banging into each other through the first couple of corners. Down this straightaway, heading towards turn 4. KD doesn't have DRS. Will he send it on the Williams? No, he won't. He will relinquish the position. Give up P6 for now. The gap is steadily opening between the top 2. It is now 1.3 seconds as they cross the line. It is now 6 laps to go here at Mexico City. This race is certainly not over. It's not in Nicholas's hands quite just yet. Bean is putting the hammer down. And that gap is steadily increasing. .4 seconds is now the gap between Jamil and Fass. Fass needs to keep it within 6 seconds at the line. It's going to be an almightily difficult task for him. Back up towards the top 2. The gap has increased once more to 1.6 seconds through the 2nd sector. Doing well. The gap has shrunk just a little bit back towards 1.5 as they head towards the stadium section once again. Around the hairpin at turn 13. Coming out of the 3rd sector now. Gap is now 1.7. 5 laps to go. Both drivers, I imagine, pushing as hard as they humanly can. They both want it. I'll quickly check something as well. What does the warning situation look like? Still only one warning for Nicholas. Bean only has one warning next to his name after the 3-second penalty. Both of them pushing as hard as they humanly can. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Sector 2 yellow flags, that's a slow McLaren. It's loose, no, it's Doberman. Just briefly causing a yellow flag. In the midst of the battle for the lead, Jamil has opened up the gap to 2.7 seconds. That is still steadily increasing. Fast, trying to get by the McLaren of Lucid there. Gap opens up to 3.2. The gap between the top two has opened up to almost 2 seconds as they round the final corner. This is going to be a close finish. 4 laps to go. Just behind, Jamil has opened it up to now 3.5. Fast doing everything in his power to keep up with his fellow Brazilian. Everyone else, all the positions seem to be somewhat taken already. It seems like Kimi is looking like he's going to get a top 6 finish, as both Yoda and KD have a mountain's worth of penalties next to their name, 26 and 15 seconds respectively. Seems that Nicholas has made a charge for the lead once again. The gap has shrunk to 1.5 seconds. This has been a mega lap from the Canadian. Bean now has lap traffic in front. They get out of the way. Sector 3 yellow flags. That's just Lucid getting out of the way, I believe. No, it's Doberman, his teammate, just getting out of the way. So Nicholas has gained on Bean Sandwich over the course of this lap. The gap has shrunk to 1.8. 3 laps to go. I bet Bean would want this really bad as well. His home racetrack in front of his virtual home fans. He would want this. He would want this more than anyone. But Nicholas, he's got a championship to worry about. He wants that win. He wants to take that championship lead. He wants another W next to his name. The gap between Jamil and Fast has now increased to 4.5 seconds. He needs to open it up by another 1.5 over the course of the 2 and a bit laps left in this race if he wants third, which would be a fine performance from him. Gap has opened it back up to 2 seconds between the top 2. Fast, another 3-second time penalty. Oh no! Fast has taken himself out of the running for a podium finish there. Jamil has got this now, so long as Jamil doesn't make a mistake or gets another penalty. Jamil has got 3rd place at the moment. The top 2, this is it. This is the battle. 2 laps to go. 2 seconds separating the top 2. My word. Absolutely fantastic. Both drivers most likely going to give it everything. You can see Nicholas running even on fuel. So he probably isn't able to run for too long in rich mix. He does have to work the fuel modes, I imagine, quite a lot. Managing between rich and lean and standard. Being giving it absolutely everything here. Brief lift. And getting a 3-second time penalty. That's now 6 seconds. And Nicholas would know this. Surely he would know this. He only has 1 warning next to his name, I'm sure. Let's have a look. He has 2 warnings. So if there's a clumsy mistake, which I somewhat doubt, The battle just might go to the final lap, but all that Nicholas has to do is just back off. He doesn't have to push on this final lap. That is a costly error. A very costly error for being sandwiched. The final 4.3 kilometers. It's just going to be a parade lap, I imagine, for Nicholas. He's running low on fuel, though. Look at that. He's got a flashing icon in the bottom right. He is running low. Has he got enough fuel? Because this just might not be over, folks. He is short shifting. Being gentle with the throttle. The gap is steadily increasing. 2.2 seconds. He can't afford to make a mistake here. I want to see, will it go into low fuel mode? 2.3 seconds. Using overtake at the exit. KD, another 3-second time penalty. So coming around the final sector now. Both drivers low on fuel. It's been a superb performance from the top three, but ultimately one man will come out on top. Bean Sandwich will cross the line in first place, but it's CLS Nicholas who will win the Mexico City Grand Prix by 3.4 seconds at the line. Jamil will get... Oh, hang on. He had 15 seconds there. Oh, this is going to be close for a podium finish. Fash gets it at the line. 1/10 of a second separating the two drivers. Oh dear, Jamil making a mistake at some stage. I didn't catch it. But he had 15 seconds worth of penalties at the line. Fass had 9. It was just close enough for Fass to get onto the podium. That might be critical towards the championship. Yoda crosses the line in 6th, KD in 7th place, but I think, oh, maybe not. I don't think Kenny will get 6th place after all. I reckon he was on for a top 6 finish at one stage, but he is very well behind. There we go, P8 for Kimmy. P9 for Captain Schmeg. Yacano across the line in the final point scoring position in P10. Oh, dearie me. Kimmy given driver of the day. Oh, my word, what a performance. But there we go. COS Nicholas taking victory here at Mexico. Oh, Bean. He would have wanted that. Here at his home circuit, he would have wanted that win. He pushed so hard. So hard. Unfortunately, it just wasn't quite enough at the end. So COS Nicholas unofficially takes the win here at Mexico, takes fastest lap as well. A fine performance which results in him winning this race by 3.4 seconds over Bean Sandwich, who as well had a fine performance. Crossed the line in first, but unfortunately penalties will result him in finishing in second. Fass in 3rd place, just beating out his fellow countryman Jamil by 1/10 of a second, who finishes in 4th. Julio in 5th, Yoda Speak in 6th, KD in 7th, Kimmy in 8th, Captain Schmeg in 9th, and Yacano rounding out the top 10. So, in the context of the championship, I'll just grab the championship standings once again. Where are they? There they are. Alright, let's have a look at the driver's standings. So, I probably need a pen, just so then I can do some quick math. Hopefully I left a pen somewhere near me. Is that one there? Yep, that's one. Rightio. So, let's talk about the championship, shall we? Because this is important. That'll do. So, Julio, he was leading on 229. He finished 5th, which will mean he will score points next to his name. Bean Sandwich was 2nd in the championship. He was on 216. Now he gets 18 points for his efforts. Fass, he was on 214 points, and he gets 15 points for his efforts. And Nicholas, he was on 204, and he gets 26 for his efforts. Now remember, this is unofficial results. And Matthias, he doesn't score anything, as he wasn't here. So Julio is now on 239 points. Bean, he's on 234 points. Fass is on 229, and Nick, he's on 230. The gap between all of these guys, this top 4 now, is just 10 points, with 2, maybe 3 rounds to go. Wow. So this is your unofficial championship order. Julio still leads on 239. Bean is still 2nd on 234. Nick jumps up to 3rd place on 230. And Fast drops to P4, just 1 point behind on 229. This is wrapping up to be one of the closest fought championships that I have ever witnessed in my entire life. Not just as a commentator, not just as a driver, but also as a spectator of many, many real-life motorsports. To be only 10 points separating 4 drivers with 2, maybe 3. We'll have to see what happens with the Americas round, as we weren't able to do that. But this is going to be an awesome championship battle. 4 drivers, 10 points. Even last season wasn't this intense, and we had one almighty championship battle between Alpine and Fass. That was a genuinely awesome championship between those two, where Alpine ultimately came out on top at Abu Dhabi. My word, what a race. A fantastic race here at Mexico City. But I think that will end this stream. Tune in next week. Next week is going to be a very, very special race. It's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix at Autodromo José Carlos Pache. That race last season was one of the best races I ever got to watch, where we saw 2 drivers, Alpine and Fass, battle each other for literally every single lap, and resulted in one of the closest finishes in this championship's history. It was an absolutely fantastic battle, one of the best races I ever had the privilege of watching. And hopefully in Season 3 we get to see something like that once again on one of the most legendary racetracks in the world. Until then, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching, and tune in for what is going to be, if everything goes correctly, the best race of the season, guaranteed. Tune in next week for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Until then, good night.